Rolling into winter in Oklahoma, and it can give us cold, it can give us hot. We've been well below zero, of course, and we've been in the 90s in the winter. So let's take a look at what a normal winter brings. For our purposes, we'll call winter December 1st through February 28th, even though it's officially running from December 21st to March 19th. But the computations are a lot easier when you take it month by month. Average high over that December to the end of February period runs at about 51. We average just under 7 inches of snow, with about 5 days of snow or ice. Our winter records, of course, the coldest 16 below zero back in 1930. And we've been in the 90s in February, too. As far as snow goes, back in January 2011, we had one storm drop 14 inches of snow. And in that same winter, we had more than 2 feet of snow. Average over the last 5 years runs at about 7 inches, so just barely above our average total long term for winter. Last winter, let's take a look back. Our average high temp ran about 53 degrees. That's above average. Our snow was well below average, less than 2 inches. We did hit zero back just before Christmas of last year. As we look forward to an El Nino winter, that's the big weather pattern change. We're back in this El Nino weather pattern, and that simply means there is warmer water in the Pacific off the west coast of South America, and that affects the global weather patterns. But this El Nino may be just a little different. Some of the other index values that go along with El Nino aren't typical for an El Nino winter, so my forecast will be generally colder over the central and eastern part of the country and warmer to the west, while precip will be wetter from the southern plains and up the east coast, drier over the northern plains and the Pacific Northwest. For us, it's important to remember that El Nino in Oklahoma is a weather nudger, not a weather causer. And to give you an idea what that means, think of cooking chocolate chip cookies. Maybe your recipe says 350 degrees. If you push the temp up to 375, you're nudging those cookies up to burnt level. But if you push that temperature up to 500, you're definitely causing burnt cookies. So El Nino just gives us a little nudge in our weather direction. Let's break it down month by month. December, I'm forecasting below average high temps and above average snow and ice, and maybe 4 days with snow and ice too. So it may be an active December, and this is going to continue into January too, with our average high below average and our snow total above average, bringing 4 more days of snow or ice. And we move into February, average high up a bit, but that's still below average at about 50. Snow up to well above average for the month of February, with 3 days of snow or ice. And remember, this doesn't include March. Oftentimes we can squeeze in a little snow in March too. To sum it up, we're going with that average high below average. Snow should be average to above average, maybe a foot of snow over the course of the winter if you're a snow lover, and we'll run at about a dozen days with snow or ice. It's also important to know that snow and ice aren't our only hazards. We can get tornadoes and severe weather in Oklahoma any month of the year, including winter. 4% of our tornadoes happen in December, January, or February. Of course, we had an F3 tornado in East Tulsa in 1975, and we've had tornadoes on Christmas Eve in Tulsa too. Last winter, Oklahoma saw 5 tornadoes in January and 13 tornadoes in February. Both of those set all-time records for the state. So it's important for you to know that the Fox 23 Severe Weather Team will stay on top of the weather patterns, looking far in advance to give you advanced warning to help you make good decisions for you and your family, not only for winter weather hazards, but also any severe weather threat too.